Hey y'all, how you doing? My name is Joe, and this lovely voice in the back of your head is not just being heard there. Everyone can hear it. It's Yak. Yak, how are you?
I am doing not great, Hero.
Oh my
Some
goodness.
things really piss me off about the current political sphere.
Well, join the club. It's a lot of us. And if you're feeling that way, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Identity Booth. We're trying to identify with you as you identify with us. But with all that being said, as the world is on fire, bills are still due. So keep your chin up and fight the good fight. You don't lose, you don't win in bed. You win on the streets. So get out there. But needless to say, I don't know much about why this block is so. I understand why it's so important, but I can't understand why people who have constituents who are suffering would want to block this. You mind giving us a spill on this?
Of course, yeah. So Manchin and Sinema block Democratic control of NLRB. They blocked a Democratic nomination for the NLRB. So important to note that both Manchin and Sinema have gone independent in 2020, I think. And they've kind of just been the revolving villains in the Democratic Party because they still caucus with Democrats. Um, you may remember Sinema from her infamous denial of the IRA
Yeah.
when she went on stage and threw a dramatic thumbs down as her vote and then went off to do a vacation. So,
She curtsied
not a
as
very good
well.
person. Oh, yeah. She she showed up in there in like the most casual outfit too, talk about uh reminding me of the John Fetterman stuff when everyone was
Ragging
uh
on him, and I think that needs to be a red
mhm.
flag. If you, hey, you know what? You want to be in politics, you got to wear stiff suits, leg pants, and all the bullshit that comes with it. You're not supposed to be cool. No, there's no such thing as a cool politician. That's no. You want the only cool politician, and the only thing you do, hey, if you are really good at shooting the basketball, go for it. You may have a majestic pitch or a bat swing, go on. But you can't be cool in politics, okay? No, I don't want to see your heel high shoes. I don't want to see you wearing Converse. Take the damn hoodies off. I don't care about your emotional support. People are literally dying in the streets. Get your shit together. Go get some heavy starch on that suit and put on those goddamn leg pants shoes. Okay, I'm off my boat.
um yeah, so this is obviously devastating because Biden's NLRB has been pretty good in terms of labor.
And can we
With all
real quick
the
just say what that is and what it does? Why do people
yeah,
should care about this? What is that?
yeah. So the NLRB is the National Labor Relations Board, which is like the union of unions, if you will. It's like it protects unions, it protects workers, it makes sure that states follow their minimum wages. There's no federal minimum wage. There should have been, but at least it makes sure that workers are compensated for the work that they do. So it also authorizes, well, not authorizes, it makes sure that uh, companies cannot break up strikes when they happen, which is very important, and is going to become very important in the next 4 years as Trump takes the office. So, a Democratic nomination was blocked. That means that um, Trump is going to appoint his own person to the NLRB, and that's going to be very bad because we all know Trump's relation to labor, and Elon Musk even has said that he should be able to just fire striking workers, which is illegal under current NLRB regulation. So I'm not optimistic about this.
And most people shouldn't, especially since literally the middle class, or rather, I like to call it the dissolving middle class, because a lot of people a lot of people watching this think they're in the middle class, and I'm sitting here as a healthcare professional who makes a pretty good salary for himself, and I'm not even in the middle class. So is really this is so much more than what it is, because this is the situation I was talking about earlier and we'll talk about later. There's a group of people in this world that don't understand how this will impact them. that the people, like your grocery store might not have anyone there to stock it, literally because they want to make cuts so they can have more profits and beneficiaries. So your shelves start to look a little more empty because there's less hands on deck to get these things back. We're talking about if there's an emergency with downed equipment and things of that nature. If it's a privately owned piece of land, they might not have the regulated hours to handle this because they don't want to pay overtime, right? Workers on the dock have already shown how dangerous this could be. If the whole entire eastern border of America shuts down, that cuts off 1/3 of the food supply in the whole entire country. And we already have kids who go to bed hungry at night. Like, this is pushing us closer and closer to what I feel is going to be child labor. It's already taking places in places, which is
already legal.
It's already legal in places, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Tyson, one of the biggest distributors of foods in the country, has multiple lawsuits on their backlog and on deck, and it's just going to get worse. So, like, man, I can't say how important it is to start localizing and really using your smaller unionizations and also reach outs and call outs. Join a labor union fund and work with each other. Like, is there anything else that they could throw into this fire, like as far as actions?
Absolutely. As you said, unionize your workplace. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Please unionize. If you for some reason can't, but if you have the funds, give it to strike funds, give it to union funds, stuff like that. Just organize, talk to your community, talk to your coworkers, and make sure that they know that they are getting screwed over.
And another thing I love to, and I don't want to say this in generalization, because Big Boy Pritzker comes from wealth, but he backs the unions. You know, he does the things here. But like, Kyrsten Sinema ran off the idea that she was going to be a party for the people, but there was never any inkling that gave you she had ever rolled her sleeves up and had to do some work. Big Boy Pritzker's ability to say, you can't buy me because I'm already rich, is just a F you to the system. But we understand where he comes from. You know, everyone's trying to sell you something. Even me and Gag are trying to sell you something. Education, knowledge. But it comes at the expense of, we want to create content around this. So understanding people's MO is so important as to how to support them, or even if you should support them. So just don't believe the big populist voice that says, I'm here for the people. Let the people who do the work point out and show you. Like, don't unions are some union leaders are so important because they have the ability to become a Batman mob boss, or literally be able to, you know, guarantee a coalition of 10,000 votes for a specific person if they stand by the rules and regulations. Make sure that the person you are looking to prop up has already done some work. I really feel like that isn't stressed enough. And when you look at Manchin and Sinema, they aren't two people who come from a situation where they've done the work. They just don't.
Yeah, exactly. But I do wonder, like, did she actually believe any of that shit to begin with or not? You know, because, like, I'd love to be cynical about it as well, right? But I feel like some part of her did believe it.
Have you ever seen the episode of when in Family Guy when Lois started running for political position, and she was just sitting in the crowd, and she literally just watched two of them argue. Then one of them got shot, and they're like, "Who's gonna run?" And she just went up there and she was like, well, guys, calm down, you know, everything. And they'd be like, hey, look, this person's taking charge and telling us what to do. We don't like that. But I'm telling you what to do for your own good. Prove it. I want to see you have all the guns you can have. And they were like, well, I like that. It protects me. It makes me feel like I'm strong enough to do things on my own. And basically, she was just a voice. She was a populist. Like, she had a quirky look. The Democrats saw her very much so as like a sideshow. Like, hey, whatever it takes to get Arizona to agree with us. If this is who they like, they didn't vet them. But Democrats aren't good at vetting people who run in I think what's the word I'm thinking of like challenge states, because there's no way in hell we should be losing Mississippi. Mississippi has the biggest population of Democratic voters per capita, but because we don't have gracious map drawings of districts, we keep losing in Mississippi. But if we could just put the effort into getting those maps redrawn, we get ourselves another state easily. Alabama, they forced them to change it. That district immediately turned blue. Now there's 2 blue districts in Alabama. So like, Democrats are very much so, oh man, their noses up their ass. They really don't think they need these other states because they think their states are big and good enough.
Yeah, they don't offer anything to. Well, again, this is getting into the election stuff, which I don't really want to talk about now. I still haven't processed what happened on November. But when you don't offer anything to those districts, of course you're gonna lose.
But with all that being said, I'm super curious what you guys are thinking. We all have opinions here. Yak has strong opinions about Sinema. Don't get her started. But I'm interested to know what you guys are thinking about. Do you understand what's going on here? Do you guys see the paint drying? Because once it's dried, you don't get to bring it up for another 4 years. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. See you on the other side.